to Week 6 live in our studios in Atlanta. We have survived Hurricane Milton, and we are still standing. The roof might be half torn down. It's looking like the Tropicana Dome, but we are still standing. And we had another eventful week, a unicorn loss. Matt goes down. No more undefeated teams. Jake staying alive at Moneyball, and we have plenty of trades. A lot to talk about on the weekend. Dom, starting off with you, biggest weekend winners and losers. What do you got for us?
Well, guys, I'm going to stroke my own shit here. I think I win this week from the trade that we got, the trade that we'll be talking about later. But, you know, my team was having a lot of issues. With Nico Collins is out. That hurt my team a whole lot. But, you know, I got my replacement in Tank Dell, which we'll talk about that trade later. Don't get me started yet. But I might have lost Brian Robinson. My team is not as cooked as it was. So I think I won this week for sure. I got a lot of depth, you know, from Ethan, and it helped a lot.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet here. My only winner of the week for that matter is Drew. Being able to stay afloat between everything that's been going on with his team is impressive enough. He's going to have the best record, the best points. So far, he's the team to beat this year in the harvest. Now, my two losers are both Torre brothers. Matt finally goes down. And not only to Jake, bro. Jake has been playing Moneyball all year long. And he just went down to him with his God squad. Mikey, you fucking put up 90 points, bro. I don't have anything else to say.
Anyway, my winners and losers, I think is pretty simple. I got Chris. Don't get me wrong. It's because Ethan got worse through all the trades. I think Chris won automatically. Chris finally showed up to one of our events. Our executive producer turned intern. I've never seen that before. But I think Chris won. Chris didn't even make a move. Chris gets Isaiah Guerrero next week, bro. That's a win in and of itself. But that's all I got for this week.
Before I get into my big winners and losers, I just want to welcome back Chris. You know, he's been absent for 5 out of the 6 weeks so far, but he's back. So now we got both of our producers in the building. And I'm going to be like Dom, I'm going to show my own shit. I think I'm the biggest winner. Most points scored, giving Ethan that unicorn loss. And I had the best fucking stack in all of fantasy football. Let's go. 75 points combined, baby. Let's fucking go.
That's ridiculous.
My big loser, I'm going to go Matt. I mean, do I even have to say any more than he
Nah.
lost to Jake.
You
Jake's
lost the
Moneyball.
Thank you, Dom, for collecting that.
That's
Quick side note. The person that I'm currently wearing right now is Drew's biggest winner.
Bro,
so
Hector,
far
he's not
this
on your
week.
team. Hector, he's not on your team.
He
Hector.
gave me 2 passes, 2 touchdowns for Brock Purdy.
He's not on your team, huh?
Brock Purdy, QB4 by the end of the season.
I'm sorry.
Add that to the compilation, Dom. Add that.
That's going on the TikTok.
Well, that was all nice and fun for the recaps, but I want to talk about something, you know, the end is a little first act of the segment. What do you guys think about going forward? Who you guys think are the 7 legit teams in this league, playoff teams-wise?
That's a good question. I think I have to for sure say Drew, good playoff contender. Dylan, good playoff contender. Zach, good playoff contender. Matt, obviously, good playoff contender. Myself, and I'd have to say last one would be...
You got 7, you got 5 right now.
Well, okay, we could rule this out. We think, we could safely say on this panel, me and Matt will make it for sure.
Yeah.
So out of the 5 left, what do you
Yes.
guys think out of the 5? Because I'm thinking Zach. I agree with you, Don, with Zach. I think Zach's going to slide in. I think Zach might slide in because Zach's going to take losses. You're seeing with Zach's team when he has buys and he has someone out. Not only was the flex weak enough, but he's still going to struggle to replace and replenish that week. So I think the 5, without a doubt, will be the 2, the not pretenders, but the buyers will be Dom, Dylan, and I think Harold after that Hector trade with Ayuka and Cook, with having Cook and Jacobs. Those guys will be. They'll need something, but I want to talk about the bubble teams. Your Hectors, your Mikeys. And your Ethan and Danny.
Don't put
and Jay.
Don't put okay, Ethan. No,
You don't think he's a bubble team?
Ethan's not a bubble team.
All right.
Ethan.
Out of Jake, Hector, Mikey, and Danny, which 2 do you think slide in?
Honestly, Mikey is not ridiculous because, like we said when Mikey made the trade with Hector for J.K. Dobbins, all he has to do is worry about making the playoffs. And right now, his team is shitty, but he is what, 2-3 right now?
3-2.
3-2. So he has a winning record right now. So as long as he can get those 7 wins, 8 wins that he needs to make the playoffs, I mean, he'll get CMC back, he'll get Pacheco back. He has J.K. Dobbins at his flex, and then he has 2 pretty decent wide receivers.
So you have Mike.
I would put Mike in there.
And you'd have Zach too then?
I'll put Zach too.
You have Zach then too?
Mikey and Zach.
Mikey and Zach.
I think it's easiest. Obviously, the first 2 teams that I see going through are Matt and Drew. I think those are obviously the first 2 teams that are the teams to beat. They're going to be probably one of the championship favorites right now, currently into the season. I think Dom's team is very good, but it's just a little inconsistent.
Out of those 4 bubble teams, because we already know they're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
So out of Zach, Danny, Mikey, Jake, out of those 5, who do you think is going to slide in that last 2 playoff spot picture? And you, who do you think is going to slide out in those last 2 playoff pictures?
I think Zach's going to go into one of those because Zach has too good of a team to not make the playoffs. Zach has Malik Neighbors, who had a concussion. He's technically still a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy. I see him as possibly taking the second to last spot. My last spot, the only reason that I'm going to put myself over it is because of the trade. But hear me out. Danny's team is on auto. That's one. But Danny's team still hasn't been performing to expectations. I don't think it's going to perform to expectations.
I disagree. He's got Joe Mixon back. We don't talk about this enough. When Joe Mixon was healthy in week 1,
he
who
put
won?
27 points. Yeah.
But who won? Danny won.
Yes.
And Joe Mixon's been out. What happened to Danny's team?
I don't know, man.
Danny has Joe Mixon back. That's what we're not talking about.
But that's my thing. Can he come back to 100%?
What do you mean? He's at 100% right now.
I don't know, man. He's been going on for quite a couple of weeks now.
I think. Look, I'm saying this right now. The 2 people sliding in, I got Danny and I got Zach. Those are going to be the 2 people that slide in. No one's seen it. But in week 14, when Danny is cruising at a nice 7-7 record and barely slides in, I think Danny's gonna slide in because I think his X factor is Joe Mixon. I think 100%.
The most surprising out of all the bubble teams though is going to be Jake, because we got to see how much Jake can keep up that Moneyball tactic.
For sure.
If he can keep it up for the rest of the season as good as he has for this part of the season, he could be possibly the second to last spot. Me personally, I think that's not real ridiculous to say at all.
100%. I mean, I feel like if Jake just keeps on playing Moneyball the right way,
he keeps on rolling it. I mean, I don't see a problem with that at all.
I don't know though. I think Jake is cooked if he loses this week. I think it's going to put a very, very big dent in his playoff chance.
And then Chuba Hubbard's going to be eventually replaced by John.
I think Danny's cooked if he loses.
You think Danny? Danny's not losing this week, Dom. Danny's not losing. Danny's not losing this week, Dom.
He is.
He's not losing.
Listen, my team might be cooked as of right now, but I'm still not losing. I don't care. Danny, I swear to God, if I do lose, you're getting a very, very polite message in your DMs. So is Leilani, I swear to God.
But to wrap up this segment before we go to our main break, we had me, Hector, and Drew had a little surprise, but Drew forgot to follow dress code.
Yeah.
As you guys can see, we're wearing our championship rings because us 3 have the most championship success, and Dom being only like the Dodgers. I guess
Dom
you
has
could
yet.
say.
Actually, Dom has yet to be.
So
Dom
Nick,
has had.
if you will, can you please come?
Nick, come here.
Our 2021 champion. We wanted to present you, surprisingly, with their very own ring.
Nick won
It's
it.
a little bit big. I tried to order a size 8, but it's a little bit big.
Nick won and got kicked out of the league, by the way.
Yeah, Nick won and got kicked out of the league. Yeah.
But
yeah, I think after that teared me up deep down inside, and I think we got to go to commercial break because I got to go cry right now.
There's nothing.
Thank you, son.
Welcome back, everyone, from the commercial break. It is now time to talk about the meat, the chunk, the juices of the episode. The series of trade that followed last night involving Ethan and Hector and Dom's 3-way trade. The trade involved a lot of moving parts, 10 players and 2 drops by Dom. I want to start off Dylan's side of the panel. Dylan, who do you think benefited the most out of all these trades?
Listen, the one thing I want to say before is, Hector, you need to stop trading because I gave you D-Hop for your depth. And what did you do with D-Hop?
Oh, I dropped him.
You dropped him.
Oh, yeah.
You traded for Zeke for depth. What did you do with Zeke?
No, I dropped him.
You dropped him. I wouldn't be surprised if Trey Sermon, who's washed, is dropped by next week. I'm not going to lie. So, on the card we have here, Hector gives up Pollard, Freiermuth, and Myers, and gets Sermon, Bowers, and Achane. Now, look, Hector, you cooked. I'm not going to lie. You're going to get a lot out of this. But, I mean, like I said, one of you guys is going to get dropped. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sermon. I wouldn't be surprised if you dropped Achane.
Oh!
And honestly, But Ethan gives up Bowers, Sermon, Achan, Tank Dell, and Rashad White, and instead gives back Chubb, Odunze, Pollard, and Freiermuth. Another beneficial trade for Ethan because he has Jerome Ford. So once Chubb gets back, he has the Browns running backs. He also gets Tony Pollard, so he has a pretty solid 1 and 2. Probably whenever Chubb comes back. But he does lose his tight end 1 for Pat Freiermuth. And then Romo Dunze, I mean, he's the third option. Is he the third option? Fourth option? I mean, DeAndre Swift's playing good right now, too.
I think 2A is fine.
So then Dom gives up Chubb and Odunze and gets back Rashad White, trash. Jacoby Myers, trash. Tank Dell, trash. So Dom, I think you benefit the least out of this because,
Okay.
yeah, you have Nico Collins, but what happens when Nico Collins comes back?
Tank Dell's getting dropped.
And then you traded and then Rashad White, as far as I see, Bucky Irving's the real RB1 there.
Hey, listen. I'm saying Rashad White's in the same boat as Najee Harris. He's going to drop the 10 points every game. That's all I need from him.
He's not.
No.
Crazy.
No. Stop it. Listen. Fucking, he's not going to get like that fucking thrown out the window.
Bucky Irving is so much fucking better
than
Rashad White.
I'm not saying he's not better. I agree. Bucky Irving is a lot better, but I think Rashad White is still going to be a part of that offense, no matter how good Bucky Irving does, and he's been doing good. Which is
he playing this week though?
Huh?
Is he playing this week?
No, he's not. But it's still a backup running back. Who said I'm going to start him?
Why you got Justice Hill? Make a waiver claim for Justice Hill.
Got his ass.
Listen, in these three-way trades, there's always at least one loser, and I think Dom is going to be that loser. I think Ethan gets the most out of this because obviously Chubb is going to carry the whole fucking Browns offense, and then he gets Pollard, who I think is really good because like I've been preaching, the Bengals' old OC is the head coach for the Titans now, and he made Joe Mixon look elite. So I mean. Yeah, I think the rankings go Ethan wins, Hector kind of benefits, and then Dom loses.
Well, Dylan, I think you're all wrong, Dylan. I think Hector probably won this trade. Hector got the golden Charlie in the chocolate factory ticket with Devon Achane, right? Now the problem is with Achane, you need him to stay healthy and Tua to stay healthy. That's the risk. But if they're both healthy, that's 20, 25 points a game. I think Hector got the golden lottery ticket with Achane, and all he gave up was Tony Pollard.
Good,
He gave up Pat Freiermuth and Jacoby Myers, all right? Freiermuth is all right. I see it as what Hector got to get Achane it was pretty passable, especially Ethan was wanting Drake London plus something else last week, so that price significantly dropped. But he got Brock Bowers. That's a top 5 tight end right now. Regardless, I don't think he'll be tight end 1, but that's a top 5 tight end. Plus, when Devontae Adams gets traded, he's the only guy. And like I always say, when the young quarterbacks get thrown in, they love the tight ends. They're big, bulky guys, and they feel comfortable, and they just throw it to the tight ends. The young quarterbacks, because when Gardner Minshew gets benched and Aiden O'Connell has to save the Raiders' 2-14 season, Brock Bowers is going to be looking his way. And I think Dom, as we like to hate on Dom, I think Dom ultimately got the benefit because he got Tank Dell, which is that handicap to Nico Collins. So no matter how long Collins is out, Dom has Tank Dell to protect him. And also, he got Rashad White. Rashad White, to me, is the ultimate RB3 because you can plug him in when you have a bye week, or if you can plug him in when you have an injury. So I think Rashad White's a good RB3, but I don't expect Rashad White to get more than 10 points because when Bucky Irving starts capping his ceiling and eventually overtakes him, I'm not going to lie, we might look back and like, damn, why did Dom do it? But all Dom needs to do is hope that Brian Robinson and David Montgomery stay healthy the whole season, and it won't matter. Yeah. But Ethan, when I talk about Ethan, what Ethan gave up and what he got back, the value doesn't add up. Ethan gave up his 2nd and 3rd round pick. He didn't get a guy in the top 5 rounds back in return. Yeah. Right? I mean, when did Pollard get taken? 7th?
Pollard got taken like the
7th, 8th, something like that. Yeah. Adunze, 9th. Chubb, 9th. Freiermuth waivers. So Ethan gave up He gave up 3 drafted players, and he got really nothing back in return, value wise. Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb, but my question is when is Nick Chubb going to play, and how long is it going to take for him to ramp back up?
Yeah.
So I think Ethan, and in my opinion, with the value, I think Ethan. I'll commend Ethan for not getting caught up in the sunk cost fallacy, where he's like, well, I'm in this deep. I got to keep going. He got out of dodge. He washed his hands of Rashad White and Devon Achane, completely overhauled his running back department. But I don't think Tony Pollard will be enough to be his saving grace like he thinks it's going to be, right? Because, to me, Pollard, I just don't trust that Tennessee offense. I don't trust it at all. I think it's just going to come crashing down. So I'm going to combat you. I think Hector, then Dom, then Ethan. But I respect the pick nonetheless. What about you two at the end?
I think Dom wins in the short term. I don't think Dom did this as a trade for the long haul. I think more or less Dom did it just because of the way that Nico Collins went down. We know he's going to be down for a couple of weeks. I think evidently it's the handicap to Nico Collins. He got it. We saw last year that Tank Dell was good enough. Obviously, he had the capabilities to put up 20, damn near sometimes 30 points if CJ Stroud really looks his way. Even with Stephon Diggs there, I don't think it's going to impact him as much. I think Tank Dell's still going to produce while Nico Collins is out. Rashad White, just a serviceable bench piece. It gives Dom a good piece when it comes by time. For me personally, I think I beat Dom just a little bit, just in the aspect that I think that this trade goes the long haul compared to Dom's short-term plan. I think that getting Achane, especially if Tua comes back, or if Tua doesn't come back, let's say Tua retires, I don't think the Miami Dolphins go for the rest of the season. If he's medically, if he can't come back. But if he can come back, he will come back. But if they can't get Tua to come back, Miami's not going to go a whole season without not trying or attempting to get a quarterback. So for me, as long as they get a better quarterback than whatever they have right now, Achane's going to be fine. Brock Powers has been tight end one pretty much since the second week of the season. For me, I have no issues whatsoever with it. And realistically, I picked up Freiermuth off waivers 2 weeks ago. Jacoby Myers went in the 11th round. And I gave up Tony Pollard, who I had just acquired, but Tony Pollard was on Harold's bench, and I didn't really play him at all. He was the bench the whole entire time. Ethan gave up starting assets, premium starting assets, when both of them are fired on all cylinders, for bench pieces and pretty much waiver pickups, in my opinion. I think I won the trade.
So Dom, you made him and you've been very highly on this. You think this has enough? Do you think this trade is going to put you over the top to beat Danny this week? Why do you think that when no one else thinks so?
I don't think it's going to put me at the top because my team is already extremely hurt by the loss of Nico Collins. But it's very good to get my handcuff and Tank Dell with Nico Collins out. He's like you saw last season, right? We saw how Tank Dell was with just Nico Collins was the wide receiver one. Yeah. Tank Dell was an absolutely excellent wide receiver too. And I think his problems only fall short just because he's in a committee of Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and himself. So I think that's a perfect handcuff. I don't think Stephon Diggs is going to be getting all the targets. If you look at other targets between Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, Diggs has a bit more, but Tank Dell's not far behind. He just hasn't unfortunately been making all the catches. Yeah. So, and honestly, I don't think I gave up a whole lot. Here's the problem I have with Chubb, right? Because Cleveland is one of the worst scoring offenses in the league. Mm-hmm. That's true. So and Deshaun Watson is playing like dog shit. It's hard. They don't even see the red zone that often. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So how is Chubb going to be? I don't know if Chubb is a great running back. He's one of the greats. Don't get me wrong. But, I don't think just him alone can save that Browns offense.
Yeah, beautiful insight, Dom. Beautiful insight. I'm glad I got your opinion on it. But, that ends this discussion of the trade talk. When we come back, we have our favorite boom or bust player report, and Dylan will catch up on the league leaders in boom or bust coming up right after the break. And welcome back to the Boom or Bust report. Dylan, you've been tracking this all season. Give the viewers an update on who's winning right now in Boom or Bust.
First thing I want to say is thank you, Chris, for not showing up because I wanted this segment. So let's go ahead and get started. Right now, I have the best record, 7-4-2. The only reason why mine is inflated is because of that week 3 when I said Dom's whole team was busted.
No, you can't count that shit.
I'm counting it, baby. Let's go. Okay, speedrun. Hector's 4-4-3. That last digit, also by the way, is just that the player met the projection, so they didn't boom or bust. Hector's 4-4-3. Week 5, he went 2-0-2. Because Kittle dropped 20, CD dropped 11, I think, and then Cook and Connor met the projection. Week 5, Dom, 2-0. You know what that means, baby?
Oh my goodness. goodness. You
He gets
shouldn't
her.
have.
There you go.
Shouldn't
2-0
have.
for
Wow.
2-0 for Dom.
So much.
Chua booming with 17.8 and Aaron Jones dropping sub 7. And then we have Harold didn't show up.
Hey.
Yeah, you know.
Like the Bengals. Anyway. Continue.
Drew went 1-1-2. Pickens dropped 5.6. He had Burrow busting. Burrow dropped 33. Thank goodness. And then Amari Cooper and Jaden Reed met the projection. And then Chris is 0-1-1 because he only showed up for 1 week. But that's all I got. For my boom player this week, we're going to do a new format. We're going to go boom, full round, and then bust coming back. All right. So boom. I'm going Breece Hall playing Buffalo this week. Buffalo allows the most receiving yards to running backs. And I mean, Breece Hall has been sluggish start. Robert Saleh's gone. I mean, he's about to explode, I think. I think he might drop 30 on my head. I might lose to Chris. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm always the team that ends up, I feel like, losing to the last place team at some point this season.
It's time for Chris to get away.
But that's my boom player for now. Harold, who do you got?
I just want to say, I had to show up for boom or bust. My boom player of this week, I got to pick Drake London. How can you not pick him after that fucking showing of Kirk Cousins and him last week? And he's facing the Carolina Panthers. Shit. So I think he's going to fucking just run all over them, fucking catch everything. He's going to be a boom player for sure.
I'm so excited for Boom because no one expected this. No, I don't think anyone picked this guy to boom, but I think he's gonna bust all over the walls. His walls will be white in the locker room after the game. My boom player of the week. Get ready for this. I'm going with Tyler Conklin on Jake's team as the tight end. I am believing in the hype. Wow. And this is what you guys said when I picked Xavier Legette. And look what happened. I'm picking Tyler Conklin in Jake's tight end spot. No one has seen it. But here's what's going to happen, right? Here's what's going to happen, right? Garrett Wilson is going to die. He's going to have an ankle sprain. He gets ruled out of the game. Alan Lazar is going to get locked up, and Rodgers is just going to throw it to Tyler Conklin. I have Tyler Conklin as my boom player this week. He's going to get 14 points with the touchdown.
Okay, well, that's a very interesting take. My boom player of the week, David Montgomery.
Wow.
David Montgomery will shit on that Dallas run D. Dallas has been the worst run defense in the league since week 1. And lucky for Dom, the Lions play the Dallas Cowboys. I think David Montgomery is going to have a 24-point outing. Oh. No problem whatsoever.
24?
Multiple touchdowns against Dallas. No problems whatsoever.
All right, for my player of the week, Chris, you're gonna need this one. DJ Moore.
Okay.
The Jacksonville, which is currently the worst defense against the passing. I think this Bears offense is really starting to warm up. Kalen Williams is getting a little bit into rhythm, and DJ Moore obviously showing that last week by having 23 something points. And I think he's just gonna boom this week. I think things are looking good for the Bears moving forward. So, DJ Moore, booming.
All right. Now, let's get to all our busts of the week. Dylan, starting with you, who do you have busting?
Listen, I'm not going to lie. Hector, I'm sorry. I'm going Chris Godwin. I just think, Marshawn Lattimore is back, I think, this week. I think he's been injured. It's either going to be him or Mike Evans. I just think Chris Godwin is Mike Evans is hot, but I do think Marshawn Lattimore would rather stick on Chris Godwin just because of the size matchup a little bit. So I have Chris Godwin busting this week.
Okay.
I'm going to hop on that bandwagon and say, from Hector's team, Devontae Smith is going to bust. A.J. Brown's finally coming back. He might not see the same target share as he's been seeing, and he's just on your team. So it's kind of a fucking no-brainer. Devontae Smith bust.
I'm going to hop on the train too, guys. What ironically, because I got Najee Harris, who is an all-time Hall of Fame member on the bust list. His jersey's coming down from the racks for one more bust week. Najee, another 0-yard game for Najee Harris, and another bust week for Najee Harris. Dom, what about you, Dom?
Guys, I'm just
You're just gonna pass me over like that?
It's Dom's turn. Dom's 2-0.
I'm just gonna.
He has a crown, bro. Sit down.
I'm just gonna ask one question, guys. Is there room for one more on that train? Because my bust player of the week, Derek motherfucking Henry motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. He's ending this week. He is not scoring any more points this week. I'm tired of Derrick Henry. I'm tired of this fraudulent run that he's had. I'm tired. Derrick Henry, bust booking.
Are you dethroning the king? Are you dethroning
I'm dethroning him. I'm dethroning him.
Alright.
Who's your bus player? Is it on your team too? Be a good choice.
As I see the whole panel has gone against me, my best player is AJ Brown.
Still hoping on that Devonta Smith.
And Carolina's 23rd.
I'm tired. You know what? I'm calling it right now. I'm beating his ass by 40. I'm out of here.
Now, with that being said, thank you for Inside the Harvest. We're going to do our basketball draft right now, baby. I love Derrick Rose. Let's go.